Something makes broken a friendship. Once upon a time, long ago, in a wilderness there lived a cat named Ling Ling. He is a cheerful cat and enjoys entertaining other animals. He has a friend, a swan named Mei Mei. Wherever Ling Ling went, that was where Mei Mei was. They are inseparable friends. When something bothered Mei Mei, Ling Ling was always ready to stand up for her best friend. Because of that, Mei Mei was always kind to Ling Ling. Every time Mei Mei got food, she always shared it with Ling Ling. One morning, Mei Mei got a fairly large lizard. He didn't eat it right away. Instead, he went to find Ling Ling and bit the lizard in its beak. When he found his friend, he immediately said, "Ling, look. I got a big lizard. Let's eat together." Wow, what a coincidence. I'm feeling hungry. Thank you, Mei, for sharing your food with me, said Ling Ling. No need to thank me. I'm happy to share food with you, said Mei Mei. They ate the food together. Ling Ling was happy to have a friend like Mei Mei. When he gets food, he always shares it with Mei Mei. On an afternoon with a beautiful twilight sky, Ling Ling took Mei Mei to go to the lake. "Mei, I want to eat fish. Shall we go to the lake?" he asked. "Wow, what a great idea, Ling. Let's go now," Mei Mei exclaimed happily. They walked together to the lake. Once there, they rested for a while before fishing. Then the search began. They split up to look for fish. "I am at the east end of the lake. You are at the west end, Ling. If you get it, let's go back near this tree to eat it together," said Mei Mei. They separated. Luckily, Ling Ling saw a big fish lying on the beach. Quickly and swiftly, he caught the big fish. "Wow, I'm so lucky I immediately got a fish this big. It must be delicious," said Ling Ling. "I will immediately take it under the tree so that I can eat this delicious-looking fish with Mei Mei," said Ling Ling. When he was about to take it under the tree, Ling Ling felt like eating it right away. "This fish looks so delicious. If only I could eat it now and alone, it would be very delicious," he said while staring at the big fish. "Oh, you can't. I have to share it with Mei Mei. I can't be selfish. Be aware," said Ling Ling in the heart. His mind and heart wrestled. He really wanted to eat the fish alone. Even though he had promised to go back under the tree after getting the fish, Ling Ling was still confused. "If later I share it with Mei Mei, then she gets her head. How about it? I really like fish heads. However, fish tails are no less delicious. The meat must be abundant. How about this?" Mind Ling Ling worried. "Oh, what should I do?" he added again. The Ling Ling continued to feel upset. He seems to have a selfish attitude. In fact, Mei Mei had helped him a lot, but he was very reluctant to share. "Okay. I will eat this fish alone. After all, the Mei didn't know that I got it. When I'm full, I'll look for more fish to share with him, said Lingling confidently with her decision. He then took the fish to a hidden place. He didn't want Mei to know that he ate the fish alone. I can't eat here. If Mei finds out, I have to share this fish with him, said Lingling. He then brought the fish behind the rock. Lingling feels the place is safe and Mei won't find it. However, his assumption turned out to be wrong. Apparently, Mei was behind the rock looking for a worm. "Mei, what are you doing here?" Lingling asked, surprised. "Oh, I'm looking for worms to get the fish to come closer to the river bank, Ling." "Well, it turns out you've got the fish, huh? You are very lucky," said Mei. "But what are you doing here, Ling?" Mei asked, confused. Lingling was very surprised that her best friend knew of her scheming. He felt very nervous and confused about answering his friend's question. He decided to just run away from Mei. Of course, the swan was confused and chased after the cat. Lingling, why are you running? What's wrong with you?" shouted Mei while chasing Lingling. However, Lingling did not heed the call from Mei. Over time, Mei thought Lingling might want to eat the fish alone. "Ling, do you want to eat the fish alone? Didn't we promise to eat together the fish caught?" Mei shouted to Lingling. Instead of stopping and apologizing, Lingling actually ran faster. He didn't care about Mei chasing after him. To him, the big fish was more important than his friendship. He then jumped onto a big rock and thought Mei could never catch up with him again. "I'm safe if I'm on this rock. Mei won't be able to catch up with me," said Lingling. "Finally, I can eat this fish alone," he added again. Then, Mei was pacing near the rock. He didn't see the Lingling that was actually on the rock. He kept calling his friends. "Lingling, where are you? You shouldn't be selfish and break promises." "We promised," Mei said. Hearing his best friend still pacing near the rock, Lingling felt anxious. "Ouch. Why doesn't Mei go too? I want to eat this fish immediately. I can't eat it if Mei is still around here," he said to himself. Lingling kept thinking about what she could do to trick her friend. Then, he had a brilliant idea. Beside the boulder, there is a rubber tree that is releasing sap. With a large leaf, Lingling took the sticky sap and dripped it right on the Mei's wing. Suddenly, Mei was shocked and surprised to find there was sap on her wings. He was running fast towards the river to clean the sap. Lingling was happy, because finally she could eat fish alone. With gusto, he ate the fish from the head. He deliberately left the body to be enjoyed at last. The most delicious part is actually enjoyed at the last moment, said Lingling. When the fish's head is finished eating, he also eats the body. Over and over he said, that's great. Good thing I didn't share it with Maymay. However, suddenly, the big fish bone caught in Lingling's throat. He also felt a lot of pain. Ouch, ouch, how is this? He said, confused. Lingling immediately ran to the river to drink so that the fishbone wouldn't get stuck in her throat. He continued to drink water, but the fish bones wouldn't go away. Oh, how about this? It really hurts. What should I do? Is this payback for not wanting to share my food with Maymay? Said Lingling in the heart. Not long after, a Maymay appeared from across the river. He had just finished cleaning his wings, which were affected by tree sap from the Lingling. Seeing her best friend lying on the river bank, Maymay couldn't bear it. What are you doing here? Why do you look weak? He asked. There's a fishbone stuck in my throat. It feels very uncomfortable, said Lingling. Where do I see? Said Maymay, who seemed to want to help. Lingling opened her mouth wide. With her long beak, Maymay then picked up the fishbone that was stuck in Lingling's throat. The sly cat was relieved. Thank you for helping me, May. I'm sorry I didn't want to share it with you. Even though you are very good to me, said Lingling, feeling guilty. I forgive you. But I can no longer accept you as my friend. I don't mind if you don't want to share your food. But I'm disappointed that you hurt my wings just for the sake of food, Maymay said, and left Lingling alone. Since then, the friendship between Lingling and Maymay ended. All because of Lingling, who cheated and didn't want to be reciprocated. What moral message can you take from this fairy tale, Cat and Swan? The key message is not to break promises. If you have made a promise to someone, try to keep it. Don't be like the cat who forgot his promise to the swan just because of food. The next message is, don't be selfish. Fellow living beings are good at helping each other. If someone is always there to help you when you're having a hard time, then you'll have to reciprocate later. Selfish people are those who don't know how to repay. I just want help, but don't want to help.